Every kid today is diagnosed with ADD, ADHD. When I was a kid, we were just diagnosed with A, annoying. That was it. There was no medication. We just beat the shit out of each other until we passed out. Every kid today's got a peanut allergy. What the hell's that all about? I mean, I'm sure we had peanut allergies when I was a kid, but when I was a kid, my dad would be like, walk it off. I don't care how big your head's getting, just walk it off. A lot of money on an Easter candy, you're going to eat every bit of it. Every kid today's got to wear a helmet wherever they go. When I was a kid, we didn't wear helmets. Well, I did, but I wore a helmet to bed. I was different, but the other kids, I grew up in the age of Evil Knievel, you know what I mean? Used to jump our bikes. Is that Evil himself right there? A little too many head injuries out there, right? You can only whistle his name now, right? Used to jump our bikes with, over trash cans, no helmet. We learned. My brother once drank an entire bottle of dish detergent. He learned. Not only did he learn, but whenever he farts, they smell like lemon. So, learned our lesson. Every kid today's got to be in a car seat until they're like, I don't know, 35 or something like that. When I was a kid, we had 4 kids, 1 seatbelt in our Volkswagen bus. Thank you, Mom and Dad. My dad was a reachback dad, too. Anybody have a reachback dad out there? You know what this is? His left hand's on the steering wheel, his right hand's floundering in the back seat trying to smack the shit out of whoever kid he can get a hold of. He looks over, his 4 lanes over 95, he has no idea how he got there. Man, growing up was tough. And to make it worse, my parents sent me to Catholic school for 12 years. Oh, it's brutal. Oh my God, my first day of Catholic school was a complete culture shock. For example, my homeroom nun beat the shit out of me with a wooden ruler. I couldn't take it any longer. I stood up to her, I said, what makes you think Jesus would hit a child with a wooden ruler? She said, because Jesus was a carpenter. I thought to myself, thank God he wasn't a goddamn plumber. There was another day I asked our homeroom nun, I said, is it true that Mary was just like any other wife and nagged her husband? She said, why would you ask a question like that? I said, because I read in the Bible. It says it right there. Mary rode Joseph's ass all the way to Bethlehem. Kids today in Catholic school are sent home because it's too hot. You believe that? They get sent home in 80-degree weather. And then they get a trophy the next day when they come back. When I was a kid, how do we keep cool? Oh yeah, you can take your clip-on tie off, Timmy. How's that? Is that cooler for you? 60 kids shared 1 fan. That's great. And of course, you always had that one kid who always had to throw up every time. And the janitor would come out and he'd pour that sawdust on him. So then for the rest of the day, you'd be smelling the potpourri of sawdust and puke in the air. Even our toys were dangerous back then. Parents didn't care. Every year for the Christmas, the Sears catalog would come in, right? You'd open up, you circle every toy. Your parents would have mini strokes because they couldn't afford it. And then guys, if you were anything like me, as soon as your mom left the room, you flipped it over to look at the women in the bra section. Don't act like you didn't do it. And the toys we had back then, we had toys like we had sit and spin. Hey son, why don't you go in the corner and spin for a couple hours? And toys like hippity hop. There's another one good. Hey son, why don't you go outside and pound your crotch for a couple hours? You might want to think about adopting too, because you're sure as hell not going to have kids with that little toy. Any guy out there remember electric football? Take you 13 hours to set up each team. You plug it in, they start flopping around like they're going into diabetic shock. God forbid you lean on the board when the current's going through, you piss your pants, your eyes go cross. And ladies, remember Easy Bake Oven? Here's another great, let's cook some dough with a 9-watt light bulb. We'll get our stomachs pumped in the emergency room in an hour. Be awesome. Oh man, kids today. Kids today play with iPads, 4 or 5 years old. We didn't have that kind of mental stimulation when I was a kid. No. I was a kid, we had shit like Light Bright. My family learned one thing with a Light Bright, and that is, it will burn a Christmas tree down. Etch-a-sketch, remember Etch-a-sketch? Take you 6 hours to draw a square. My brother would come by and shake it, ruin the whole afternoon. Simon, remember the game Simon? There's a game that'll make you feel stupid real quick. I pretended I was colorblind for 10 years because of Simon. I was that kid that took all the stickers off the Rubik's Cube and put them back in order to make it look like I was smart. But the worst toy for me, and guys, back me up on this, was a toy called a Stretch Armstrong. Remember Stretch Armstrong? Now, Stretch Armstrong was cool. He's a muscle guy, you could stretch him. But then that one day I stretched him just a little too far and I popped him and it got that toxic syrup he was filled with in my eye. I didn't like Stretch Armstrong after that. Video games are incredible today, come in incredible detail. I was at the Best Buy 2 months ago watching what I thought was a Philadelphia Eagles game for 10 minutes. It was a video game. I called my bookie, I'm like, yo, put 50 bucks in the Eagles. They're playing themselves, I have no idea how they're doing that. So when I was a kid, we had games like Pong. That is a great game, 2 dashes and a dot, yeah. Yeah, we were so easily impressed. God. Kids are lucky today. Kids are lucky to have like the internet, they have everything at their fingertips. 300 channels to pick from. When I was a kid, we had 3 channels, 2 UHF channels, and 1 PBS channel. That was it. And if you were lucky, you had that scrambled porn channel 57 channel on the weekends. I'd be 14 years old in my basement at 11 o'clock at night. I'll just go straight for 10 seconds. That's either hairy boobs or a guy's knees. I'm going with hairy boobs. Sucks getting older. I'm in my 40s now. It really sucks. Can't hang anymore like I used to. Now hear me out. When I was in my 20s, right, I could hang with the best of them. I'd work all day. I'd go home. I'd take a shower, right? I'd go out. I'd go to the clubs with my buddies. We'd stay out till 2 o'clock in the morning, have a blast, get hammered. Go back to a diner, stay out till 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd leave there. Right? I'd go home, I'd take I'd sleep for an hour, right? Get up, take a shower, I'd do it all over again. I could do that in my 20s. I'm in my 40s now. I go food shopping, I'm calling out the next day, all right? How much vacation time do I have? I just carried a case of Coke in my car. I'm using phrases like back in the day now, that's embarrassing. Every time I say back in the day, I feel like I'm 10 seconds away from wearing my pants up to my nipples. Calling the cops on the neighborhood kids. Man, I'm getting hurt in weird ways now. Like last week, I was in bed. I didn't even get out of bed yet, and I pulled a muscle while yawning. How embarrassing is that? And I can't eat fast food anymore at the age I'm at. You ever notice that McDonald's is the only food that goes in and comes out at the exact same time? Taco Bell, what's your slogan? Run for the border? How about the chalupa? It'll make you poopa. How about that? So before I get out of here, I want to talk about. I just got married Sunday. Yeah, thank you. Sunday will be 3 months. Women are like, woohoo! Men are like, idiot. Yeah, I did the online dating thing for a while. I did do that, and it was horrible. You meet crazy, ugly, psycho people online. I went out with a girl one time who had the most beautiful blue eye I've ever held in my hand. It was, I went out with another girl. She was an amputee. I met her on StubHub.com. Oh, come on. They're jokes, ladies and gentlemen. They're just jokes. I tried speed dating once. I got this all messed up. What I did is I took a bunch of meth. Not only did I not find a woman, but apparently later on that night, I robbed a 7-Eleven. Or another with flippers and a snorkel. So I'm happy to say that I found my wife the old-fashioned way. Duct tape in the trunk of my car. She's a fighter. No, come on, it just goes. And it's weird. It's weird going from like a single guy all these years into a relationship. It's weird. Like I'm learning certain things. Like I just learned what the bottom drawer of a refrigerator is called. It's called a crisper, right, ladies? See now, when you're a single guy, that's either a beer drawer or an extra sock drawer. Am I right, guys? My wife and I are starting to get in these little arguments now that couples get into, like we just got in the whole argument last week of peeing in the shower. I don't know why she does it. It's disgusting. I wish she would stop, actually. Now she makes me watch romantic movies now, which I hate. Last night she made me watch the Titanic, which I like, but I mean, I don't know. My favorite part in the Titanic is when Rose says to Jack, "Jack, I'll never let go. I'll never let go." And then what does he do? He lets go and Jack drowns in the Atlantic Ocean. See, I come from a long line of cowards, ladies and gentlemen. If I were Jack, Rose wouldn't have made it, all right? It's at this moment that my wife turned around to me and she goes, "I would die for you." I was like, oh. That's sweet, honey. She's like, "Would you die for me?" And I was like, I told her, I said, "I would hurt for you. I'd stub a toe for you. Die? Come on now. I'm crazy." She wants to have kids now too. She tells me her biological clock is ticking. I'm like, "Well, hit the damn snooze." I'm not ready. Anybody here not have kids? Round of applause. Hear how happy they are, ladies and gentlemen? Hear them? People with no kids, did you know this little fact? Did you know when you have a kid, you have to feed it every day? Did you hear that? I don't know, it's a little too much for me. I don't like that. If I do have a kid, though, I hope I have a son. Because if I have a son, my last name's Grill. That's my last name, Grill. So if I ever have a son, I'm going to name him George Foreman. Thank you. So much. But I am happy I found my wife. I'm very happy right now. And because listen, I never had any luck with women. Never. I had to take my cousin to my